It's the Jake and Ben Show. 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 Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Jake and Ben Show. I'm Jake, and that's Ben.
Hello.
And we're going to talk some flicks, some films, some movies, some pictures, some cinema. Right?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, in this episode, we're hoping to make it a little more polished than last week. Last week, we had some technical difficulties due to some weather
wind.
and some
Heavy
wind.
winds.
Some wind was taking out some. Was it taking out your power completely?
Taking out the power. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't have that over on this end, but over on that end of the city, I guess you got that power outage. Yes. Okay,
Yes.
but we're back. It's not windy. Well, it's a little bit, but it's nothing that's gonna take out the power. And that's good because there's some trailers to talk about.
Well, we got trailers. We got more than trailers.
Oh my god.
And then we got more trailers.
Oh my god.
A lot of trailers dropped
Wow.
this week. A lot. One after the other.
Wow.
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 Okay. So you know what? Let's get into it. We're going to talk about one, and I believe this was the first one to drop, and it was Bumblebee. It was trailer 2. I'm not a fan of the Transformers movies. I'll take the first one. The rest I can forget about. I've never been a huge Transformers person, but I've liked Transformers. I like this trailer. I dig it. I dug the first one. This actually gets me excited for Transformers. And yeah, what do you think?
Wow. You know what? Of all the trailers we're going to talk about today, spoiler alert, this is my favorite. This shit I think looks really good. It looks really well shot, really funny, really heartfelt. I think this movie's going to be quite sad, and I'm saying that as someone who does not give a shit about Bumblebee or the Transformers. You can tell they're going with that cutesy Bumblebee angle, and they're going to manipulate that, which, is allowed, of course. But you can tell there were some things I wish I didn't see. For example, that the scene where Bumblebee is like being grabbed onto or whatever, and then he's like all sad, then his mask changes or his face changes or whatever you call it, and he's all like and it's all sad, and I was like I didn't need to see that, but it gets me. I can tell the vibe they're going for, and I dig it. I don't know if I care about all the other Transformers in this movie, just because I have such a bad taste in my mouth already. You know?
It looks a lot bigger than what I thought it was
Me
going
too.
to be.
Agreed. Yeah. So
I thought it was going to be smaller, scaled back.
Yeah. Me
But
too.
no, it looks pretty big.
But yeah, we I don't know how I feel about that. I'm sure it's gonna be good. Like I said, it's my favorite trailer I saw. I got faith in it. I'm excited for it. I wasn't excited for this movie really that much before, but now I'm legitimately really excited for it. When does it come out?
It comes out in December. Let me get the actual, or is it November? It's one of the two, November or December. Let me get the actual date for you.
Okay.
We're coming out December 20th.
Oh,
is
wow.
what it's saying here.
Okay.
December 20th.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm just a little weary about the other Transformers in it, but besides that, and I also feel like I've seen a little bit too much, but besides that, this shit looks fucking good. It looks good.
Yeah. What got me excited for this from the get-go was Travis and Knight. Him coming on to do this got me excited, and these trailers got me excited. Fan of Haley Steinfeld. So hopefully it's a good movie. December 20th. I'll be there.
Let's go. I'll be there too. See you there.
Well, there's another trailer that dropped. Big franchise also. Spin-off of the Harry Potter movies. Prequels. Fantastic Beasts. Crimes of Grindelwald. I don't know if that's the actual title. I forget about it. I just call it Fantastic Beasts 2.
That's fine.
That snoring is exactly how I feel. I have not been able to get on board with these trailers when, like the first one. It didn't do anything for me. This one doesn't do anything either. When I see the Hogwarts stuff, yeah, it's intriguing. And when I see everything else, it just looks like a repeat of what we've done before. Now, hey, it's just a trailer. Maybe the movie will be good. I'm just not interested at all, and maybe it'll be good, hopefully. But I'm not. Yeah,
have you seen the first one yet? Have you seen the first one?
I've seen the first one. I like the first one.
Okay.
But everything I see here, it just looks way too familiar from the first one. It's like the exact same thing.
It does look familiar. It looks bland, I think is the one word I would use to describe it. I think there's one shot that was interesting. There's like these black like cloth like things floating there. It's on screen for half a second. I was like, oh, that's kind of unique. But, I'm not super attached to the Harry Potter films anyways. Like, I like them all. They're all solid. But, like, I don't have that love for them like I know a lot of people do. So
Yeah.
just like mentioning, Dumbledore's name or whatever isn't gonna get me super horny for this movie. There still has to be something else, and this trailer doesn't. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just like it just kind of leaves me wanting more, and I don't know if that more is gonna be the movie or if it's just I'm gonna see the movie and still want that feeling of wanting more because it's just. It's bland. There's just gonna be there's gonna be something else, I don't know. I think there's some moments that look pretty cool, but overall, I'm not excited for this. I think the first one is flat. I think this looks flat. Whatever.
My biggest problem with the first one and seeing this trailer is, like you, I'm not the biggest Potter person, but I like the films, and you could feel the magic within the films. I don't feel that magic in the first movie or in this trailer. It's not a world that I want to go to. As with the Harry Potter films, I could say, yeah, I'd be,
yeah,
I want to be in
that
world.
This
one,
it's, yeah, good point.
And my biggest thing with the first trailer, just I don't remember the first movie all that much. From what I thought I remembered, it felt like we just forgot about everything that happened. Because spoilers for the movie, from what I remember, the people Newt's with, they get like amnesia, or they got to wipe their memory, and then they're supposed to forget everything that happened. And then didn't Ezra Miller die? But Ezra Miller's there. I don't know. I just what's going on? I don't get it.
Yeah, I remember we had this conversation on a few podcasts ago about this memory wiping thing. We both kind of half forgot what happened.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess my biggest thing about that is, what was the point of doing that if everybody's just going to come back and we're all pals again? What was the point of that? And maybe that's not how it happened. And I'm just forgetting something. But yeah, I've seen it once. Not that memorable. I remember liking it, but not to the point where I want to go back and watch it.
I remember Eddie Redmayne almost getting raped by an elephant. And that's honestly all I can remember because it was so bizarre.
Yeah, that was I would say easily the worst part of the movie.
It was definitely the most bizarre.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
What?
I don't want to talk about Fantastic Beasts anymore. Do you?
No.
Okay, because there's something I want to talk about, and that's Creed 2.
Okay.
Now, I'm curious you haven't seen the Rocky films, am I right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm curious to what this Creed 2 trailer is like to somebody who hasn't seen Rocky 4. For me, I can say I loved it. It's my favorite trailer in Creed 2. For the rest of the years, my most anticipated film. I can't wait to see it. I think it looks awesome. But I want to hear what this trailer was like from somebody who hasn't seen Rocky 4.
Yeah, okay. If you're asking that because, a lot of this plot relies on the Rocky 4 plot, I feel like this is that correct? Because like this whole his father dying and whatnot, it's all a Rocky 4 thing. Is that correct?
Yeah, and even if you've seen Rocky 4, you love it, and seen Ivan Drago again, it's like, yo, that's Ivan Drago.
I see.
Awesome. Here we go.
Yeah. As far as like the whole plot thing goes, like they explain it in this trailer on a TV screen, and it's like done with kind of in like a handful of seconds. So as someone who isn't attached to the Rocky franchise, I get this history. I might not be as like emotionally attached to it as someone like you per se, but I understand it enough to appreciate the trailer, and I assume the film. So yeah, I dug this trailer. I think it's good. Big fan of the first Creed. They established this relationship between Drago and the past and everything really well. So I'm there. I'm down for it. Haven't seen any of the other original Rockies, but I get what's going on. I didn't get as excited when I saw the older Drago, I believe that's his name, or I don't know his first name.
Yeah, Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago, that's it. Yeah. Yes. I didn't get as excited because, like I said, I haven't seen it. But I'm sure that this got your nipples tingling. Is that correct?
Quite a bit, yeah. Man, I popped for first when you see Ivan Drago, and then it's like I think towards the end of the trailer when you see Rocky and Ivan just, staring down at each other. Reminded me of Rocky 4. Before they fight, it just got me going in all the right places. This movie I can't wait for. At first, I was like, okay, we don't have Ryan Coogler. What's it going to be like?
Yeah, I agree.
This Stephen Capel Jr., I believe his name is. I got faith from the first trailer. Now this, I'm all on board for this. I can't wait to see it. It comes out November, Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, and I believe it's opening up on a Wednesday.
Ooh, Wednesday,
And you'll be
my
able to
dudes.
see it on the Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
showings. You know,
Okay,
kind of
that's
like,
unique.
you know how we see movies on the Thursday, that would be
Yeah,
the equivalent
yeah,
of
yeah.
a midnight. So
Yeah.
Tuesday, we'll be
Interesting.
able to see this.
Rocky 4, just a question for you.
Yes.
Because I know, like, everyone loves the original Rocky. I believe that's correct. And then, you know, I'm not sure how people feel about all the other ones. Is Rocky 4 like another one that like people love? Is Rocky 4 legitimately good, or is it they just like, I don't know. Fill me in.
Yeah.
Okay. How does it go?
So Rocky 1 comes out, and you know, Oscar winner, great movie, classic. You get Rocky 2. And to me, Rocky 2 might, it depends on the day. I'll say Rocky 2 is my favorite right now. And when
It's
you
your
get into
favorite
Rocky,
over the original?
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit. Okay.
I mean, some days I even put Rocky 4 above the original.
Wow.
But that is, with saying that, Rocky 4 is no Oscar winner. I can tell you that. There's a lot of
Okay.
cheese in it, but the right amount of cheese. It's, you know,
Okay.
timely cheese.
Because like this new one doesn't have any cheese. It feels like they're super dramatic. Like even the first Creed
Yeah.
had no cheese.
Well, that's
Like,
the thing
it's
with,
full
I remember when
vegan.
this, you know, when Creed was announced, before I knew who Ryan Coogler was, I was like, okay, is this just going to be really cheesy? What are we doing here? Movie
Yeah.
comes out, it's great, I love it. So when this was announced, it's going to be a draw, like the Dragos are here. If it wasn't for Creed, I would have thought, okay, what are we doing here? Is this going to be cheesy? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Because you established Creed, it's a great movie, I'm on board. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't like Rocky 4, I can understand how this might seem cheesy. With that being said, the cheese in Rocky 4, it can easily translate into something very dramatic as what we see in here. I think Creed 2 will have a bit of the cheese that Creed didn't have, but the right type of, you know, cheese.
The right type, like ghost cheese.
The right type. Yes. You know, the perfect kind.
Yeah. Okay.
The right kind of cheese. But with the Rocky franchise, Rocky's a classic. I would say Rocky 2 is, but Rocky 3, it's definitely a product of its time. Very
Is that the
cheesy.
one with the robot? I hear one of them has a robot.
That's Rocky 4. Rocky 4 has
Okay.
the robot.
Okay. Okay.
Rocky 3 is Thunder Lips. That's Hulk Hogan. And you got Clubber Lang, Mr. T in there.
Okay.
And now we get the cheese. Rocky 4, we get the cheese, but it's just it is the perfect cheese. That's the best way to say it. It's ridiculous in the best way possible.
Okay.
And if you're a fan of Rocky, you know, then the cheese works. It just works. It just works.
All
And
right.
man, yeah, seeing Ivan Drago back, it's beautiful. Warms my
Alrighty.
heart. Warms my heart. I can't wait.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Can't wait. I hope this is good. I think it'll be good. And if it's good, hopefully it makes money and we get a Creed 3. Maybe Ryan
I'm
Coogler
sure-
comes back for that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be good, and I'm sure it's gonna make money. And if I'm more sure that it's gonna make money, then I'm sure it's gonna be good.
I have a question
think-
for
I think
you.
It'll be okay. What? Sorry.
Does Rocky die in Creed 2?
Yes.
I hope not. I hope not.
I'm gonna say yes.
I don't want to have to. I
you
prepared myself
tired?
for Han.
Yes, I was just
It
gonna
was
ask
fine.
if you're tired of that. You know,
I prepared
Han.
myself for Luke because I expected it, and I didn't expect his ending to be the way it was, and I thought it was very beautiful. It's the right way for him to go out. I don't want to see Rocky go out. Now, in the story, it might be, I might have the Luke effect of, okay, yeah, that was the way to do it, but I still don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, well, you might have to, Ben.
I might have to. I might have to prepare myself just in case, but I really don't want to see Rocky die on screen. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see
We'll have to wait until when does this come out?
This comes out November 25th,
Okay.
November 20 something.
Okay. Well, it's November, and it's
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be a sad time if I have to witness that.
Oh yeah.
Well, anyways, we're going to talk about another trailer. X-Men Dark Phoenix, or
All right.
Other
I'm
known as
curious. I'm
X-People.
actually really curious to talk about this. This is
Okay.
what I was most interested to talk about.
yeah. So, X-Men Dark Phoenix was supposed to come out November of this year. It got pushed back, and there were some rumblings of a test screening of this. When you hear test screenings, I usually just throw it out the window. However, I mean, I won't say stuff from this test screening, because spoiler heavy, and seeing this trailer confirms what I heard. And to set this up more, it got pushed back to November 7th of 2019. They had to do some reshoots, and a lot of the actors in here were doing other stuff, so it was hard to schedule. So they had to push back. So it pushed back. This trailer comes out, X-Men Dark Phoenix, and I'm split in half because I like what I saw, but at the same time, what I saw gave me flashbacks of X-Men The Last Stand, which I hate. The way I kind of thought of this is the first X-Men movie Simon Kinberg wrote was X-Men The Last Stand. Now, I'm not going to blame him for that. I'm going to blame Brett Ratner for that. My thinking is, he also wrote Days of Future Past, but he also wrote Apocalypse. My thinking is maybe he really had something he wanted to do with The Last Stand and couldn't do it for certain reasons, and now he's directing this movie, he's writing this movie, and he says, you know what, I'm going to do the story, but I'm going to do it right, hopefully good. But with that is why I'm split in half, because yes, I like what I saw, but also what I saw is a mimic of what I saw in The Last Stand, except better, but I'm just thinking of how bad that movie was. What'd you think?
I have like kind of two mindsets on this trailer. On one hand, I really dug in. I couldn't believe how much I liked what I was seeing. And, this is Simon Kinberg's first directorial effort, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, there's that, of course. That's an angle to mention. But I really liked what I saw. But on the other hand, I couldn't help but think in the back of my mind about all this shit going on behind the scenes. And I kind of just felt bad for a lot of the actors in it. Like, I felt like J-Law did not want to be there. Just like, I felt like that for Apocalypse. And now when I see her, I'm just like, oh no, she doesn't want to be here. And even with Michael Fassbender, I feel like he probably feels he's a lot above this, which maybe he is. All this drama, and I don't know. It's just like I don't. I have this feeling in the back of my head while I watch it. However, ignoring all that, I think it looks pretty good. I'm not a huge X-Men fan. I like X2 and First Class. Days of Future Past is fine. The original's fine. Like you say, you don't like Last Stand. Me either. So yeah, I'm not disappointed. I think it looks pretty good.
Question: have you seen Days of Future Past, the road cut?
No.
Okay, when I first seen Days of Future Past, I was like, I don't really like what's going on here. It's okay, but it's not my thing. I seen the road cut. It was one of those things where I didn't go back to the movie. I seen a sale for the road cut, so I'm like, you know what? I'll try it out. The road cut changed it for me. I went from just being like, it's okay, to be, I love this movie.
Okay, how different is it? Like, is it just added footage or rearranged footage? Or?
There's like 15 or a half an hour minutes of new footage, but you have Rogue in there who wasn't in the theatrical cut, I believe. And you just, it adds an element that for me was missing in the film.
Okay.
And I would highly recommend you seeing that. It kind of did what the Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition did for me.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll check it out before this one. I'm not sure. Did you like Apocalypse at all?
When I first seen it, I was like, yeah, it's okay. I got it on Blu-ray, watched it once, and I haven't put it back in since. It's forgettable.
Yeah, that's fair. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah. Well, you were speaking of Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
And with Simon Kinberg, this being his first directorial debut. From what the actors have said, is that having him there was kind of like a fresh breath there. He just brought a fresh, look to it. So they've said good things about him.
Okay. Well, but would they ever say bad things?
I mean, to me, I figured if you're not going to say anything at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because especially Jennifer Lawrence, I don't think she's the type of person that's going to be like, oh yeah, he's doing good, and really think, man, this guy fucking sucks. Probably just wouldn't say anything at all.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, but hey, I could be wrong. Now, yeah, I like what's going on, but I'm just getting PTSD, getting flashbacks of not so good times.
That's fair.
And It's a movie set in the 90s, 10 years after Apocalypse, and we got like the one thing I X-Men: The Last Stand didn't know what it wanted to do. Bryan Singer wanted to tell the Dark Phoenix story, then Brett Ratner comes in, and then it becomes a whole something. I just don't even want to talk about that film. But with that and this, you take away the ridiculous element of that. Now you just have the focus on Jean Grey. For Apocalypse, you asked me about that. What I liked about the film was the new cast. I didn't see enough of them. This, I assume we'll see more of them, hopefully, but I'll ask you, do you have anything else you want to say about this trailer?
Not really, except I do dig the new cast.
Yeah.
Apocalypse, I agree with that. And,
so, where I'm going with that is, that's if when we'll see this movie, because it was pushed from November to February 7th, I believe, or 14th. And it got pushed again the other day. It was announced. It got pushed to June 7th of 2019. So we went from November to February. Now we've gone to June.
Yeah.
So to when from what you're saying, you feel bad for the actors. What I feel bad about is Sophie Turner goes on the James Corden show to show this trailer, and then, hey, you know what? That movie we just released a trailer for. Yeah, it's actually going to come out in June.
Does she say that on the show?
No, she didn't.
Oh.
But like, why release the trailer if you know you're going to push it? Or was it just one day we're like, hey, you know what?
Yeah, maybe they decided that.
You're coming out in June.
I don't know. It's definitely not a good sign, but it's also like, if this movie was that shit, then yes, take the time to make it better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and this will be the last Fox X-Men film. I mean, if you count New Mutants, whatever happens with that, this will be the last X-Men film from Fox. Now, I'll quickly say, Alita Battle Angel, were you excited for that?
No.
Okay, yeah, I was fine with the trailers. That is now coming out in X-Men Dark Phoenix's spot in February.
Oh,
so I'll note that.
Yeah. That was supposed to come out in October, right?
That was supposed to come out in December.
Oh, December. Okay.
December.
Okay.
Yeah, December's going to be a packed month. There's a lot coming out. Bumblebee, Aquaman, Mary Poppins, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. There's a lot coming out.
Okay.
Yeah. So whether they just wanted to get away from that, remains to be seen. Now,
yeah, that's possible. That's possible.
It's very possible because it's only a few months. And I didn't read the full report on Alita Battle Angel, but I believe I read it's still going to open in China in December.
Oh,
Could be wrong about that, but
because that changes everything if that's the case. Then it is definitely not a quality thing. It is just trying to avoid other films thing.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it. And it kind of makes me think of this X-Men situation. I don't think that's it, but I mean, even in June, I don't see how it's going to do well. But in February, I mean, maybe you do good because you strike before everything else comes out.
That's Fox's thing, too. They dig that February.
Yeah, and like in March, that's when we have Captain Marvel. I assume that's making all the money in the world if it's good.
Yeah. Even if it's not good, it's probably going to make a lot.
Yeah, it's going to make a lot even if it's not.
Yeah.
Then we go into April, we have Shazam coming out. Yeah, Shazam! Makes me think of the Chappelle Show. So that's coming out. If it's good, maybe we'll make some money. If Aquaman's good, maybe that will help. And then potentially in the end of April or early May, it's still scheduled for first week of May, Avengers 4. They could do what they did for Infinity War, come and bring it out in the last week of April. Even if the movie is the worst, if it's the Room of the MCU, it's still going to make $1 billion.
Yes.
So, already there's a lot of business going on.
The Room of the MCU.
If it is, it's still making $1 billion.
Yeah.
So even then, in the first quarter of 2019, we're making a lot of money here. And something's going to get buried. Something is. Not all these are going to make all the money in the world. So now we go into, May is going to be owned by Avengers 4. The entire month of May. June, we're kind of clearing up. So, yeah, we can put X-Men Dark Phoenix there. But then come July. Now we have Spider-Man Far From Home. What are we doing with X-Men Dark Phoenix? Now, I know people want to say, hey, the reason why... I was actually having a conversation with somebody the other day about this trailer, and they went on to talk about the whole Disney-Fox merger, of thinking why it was pushed to February was because of that. And I had mentioned if I mentioned Bob Iger's last week, Bob Iger's interview with The Hollywood Reporter, I believe it was, and he talked about the Fox deal. And even in some of the stuff you mentioned, if they go to plan stuff, like you said, like he's talked to the people, but if you go to plan things, the deal can be blocked. It won't go through. So if they start meddling with this, they can get fucked. And really, X-Men isn't their top priority of why they want to get Fox's assets.
No.
It's for their streaming service so they can get their television shows and movies. So I don't think Disney really cares what's going on with the X-Men property as of now. I'm sure Kevin Feige does, but Disney as a whole, I don't think they do.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I mean, I guess one question you can ask now, by June, I think the deal will be like official that Disney will then have Fox's assets. And the way Fox is going, they're making the movies they're making and they're still putting them out, but once Disney gets them and all the movies are, done shooting or whatever, then it's fresh slate. Maybe they put it on the streaming service. Because if Disney does have Fox by June, then in all rights, they can do whatever they want with this.
Yeah, see, I don't know how... Is it like... Because, you have, like, the production rights of a film, and then... No, I guess they would also be the distributors. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a different angle to it. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be bizarre to just, like, take it and throw it on their streaming service. I don't know. That's weird.
I personally don't think that will happen. I think they'll just theatrical release. We'll put it out there. It's the last Fox X-Men film. There we go. I don't see how... I just don't see how this will do anything, even if it's good. Just because people will be thinking, we got other things to see, but, hopefully it's good. It's a big move. It sucks after seeing the trailer, just moving it too, because you got me intrigued and excited. Now I got to wait even longer to see this.
Yeah, that does suck. So you dug the trailer, right?
Yeah, for the most part, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most part. Well, you know what? Speaking of Fox and X-Men or mutants, we have an untitled Deadpool movie slated for December. And with that, it is said that this will probably be Deadpool 2 PG-13. With that, I've read a few things of, like, it's just they've slated in an unannounced Deadpool movie that will likely be PG-13 for Christmas. And Ryan Reynolds put out a photo, him in a Santa Claus hat, and like an actual still. So I don't think it could be anything new, because I don't think they would have shot a whole feature film and we not know anything about it. I assume it will probably...
That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy.
Oh
and
my
hey,
God.
I would love that. I would love that.
Nuts.
It would be awesome. I just don't see it happening because we haven't heard anything but, hey, if they could have managed to do that without us knowing.
God. That'd be beautiful.
That would be beautiful. Like, if we get a Deadpool Christmas special that's PG-13, I'm on board. I'm on board.
I
dig it.
The PG-13 thing is kind of upsetting.
It is, but if the whole thing is we're going to do a Christmas special, let's do it PG-13 and just have it be absurd, I would be okay with that. Now, the more likely scenario is it's a re-release of Deadpool 2 with new footage. That's PG-13.
That's kind of lame.
If that's the case, I do think it's lame. Why put out a PG-13 version of it just to bank on Christmas? And like I mentioned with X-Men, maybe people are saying, hey, it's PG-13 because Disney wants it to be. If Disney got involved, this deal might not even happen. It has to be officially approved by the government before they can do anything. And this comes out in December. It's not like December of 2019. It's December of this year. So I don't think it has anything to do with Disney. But hey, if this comes out, and if it's a re-release of Deadpool 2, I don't see how it can make a ton of money because people have already seen Deadpool 2. But let's say, hey, it's a feature, it's entirely new, maybe it's like an hour and 10, just like a small feature. And it makes some money. Disney's like, hey, look, that worked. Maybe we'll see a PG-13 Deadpool. I hope not. I hope Deadpool stays the way it is.
It's nice having him stand out from the crowd.
Yeah. And Bob Iger at the time, maybe... I take Bob Iger for his word because, it's Bobby I. It's the man. He's running the business.
Bobby I.
It's Bobby I. He's the man. And when this first was, proposed, this deal, and he was asked, would Deadpool stay the way it is? And he said, hey, it's working. Why would we change it? Hopefully, I'll take him at his word. Hopefully that's the case. And because I want to see more R-rated Ryan Reynolds.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't want to see a new Deadpool. It's PG-13. That's not Ryan Reynolds. I want Ryan Reynolds. Even if it's PG-13, just give me Ryan. And keep it away from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Do you have anything else you want to say, or are we going to move on?
Going
to hop across the border.
Let's move on.
Okay, let's do that. Well, we're talking about Disney. We're talking about Bobby I. Remember, we had talked about Bob Iger and this Hollywood Reporter. I believe Hollywood Reporter. I want to give you the credit if it is a Hollywood Reporter. Had this interview with Bob Iger, and he was saying, hey, Star Wars, I take the blame for this timing stuff. We're going to kind of, take a step back, slow things down. Doesn't mean we're not going to stop making movies, but we're going to have a plan before we do something. Pretty much what he said. And there's been a lot of talk of people saying, hey, what's going to happen to Kathleen Kennedy? Is she going to be stepping down? Are they getting rid of her? What's going on? Well, people, they now have their answer. This made me happy. I'm sure there's a lot of people that were like, what the fuck? Kathleen Kennedy has re-upped her deal with Lucasfilm. She'll be back for another 3 years. And the Hollywood Reporter has some, they got some sources that, I tend to take the Hollywood Reporter. They're usually, they don't put out fake news. So I tend to believe their sources because they're usually correct.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll read those after I ask you, what do you make of this? Does this make you happy? Or do you not care? How do you feel?
I don't, it's fine. I dig the new Star Wars films, and, she definitely needs some credit for that, for sure. So maybe I should be happy. So, let's say I'm happy. Like, you tell me I'm not too ecstatic. Like, if they went some new direction, I'd be down for it too. I'm not gonna hate it either way.
Yeah, it's not like I'm jumping up and down. I just want to see a good Star Wars movie, which for me, I've gotten those for the most part. Just what I like about this is, she's under a lot of scrutiny. This is a big brand, and you're not going to appease everybody, and there's going to be some people that are upset. And she's got a lot of shit. That's what I'll say. Yeah. And a lot of people want to compare the Star Wars franchise to Marvel. I don't know if we're going to ever see another MCU. Other people have tried. They've failed. And I don't think Star Wars is the MCU, and nor should it be. It's something different. However, why I say that, the MCU now is not what the MCU was when it started. For me, in the beginning of the MCU, so you have Iron Man, you have the Incredible Hulk, you have Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, then we go into the Avengers. In those films, I like those. However, I love the first Iron Man. I love the Avengers. The rest of those, I think they're okay to, they're all right. Why I say that is, it took some time for them to get rolling, and then you get your Thor Ragnarok, you get your Winter Soldier. We get these movies because they've established themselves. Now they've got their plan, and they're rolling with it. Before it's a testing ground. We're getting going. I think once Episode 9 comes out, that will pretty much be Lucasfilm's Phase 1, and like Bob Iger said in his interview, we're not just going to just go out and do Star Wars films. We're going to have a plan before we do stuff. So that, her being a producer, she's produced a lot of great things. I'm sure she's learned a lot. I don't think she's doing the exact same thing every time. She's learned. So is Bob Iger, like he said. So that's what gets me excited. Now, do you want to hear what the sources tell the Hollywood Reporter?
Yes.
Okay. Now, remember the press release? It was more like a casting announcement for Episode 9. It said, hey, we're going to shoot this day. This is our cast. And in there said, I don't remember the exact quote, but pretty much saying this is like the final installment of the Skywalker saga. And then I was like, wait a minute. And then I asked you, do you think this is the final installment of the Skywalker saga, or is it just, it's Episode 9, it's the end of the trilogy? Well, we might have an answer. So I'll read this. There's two nuggets here. I'll read the first nugget. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Episode 9 will be the last of the chapter installments, with Disney planning on touting it as a selling point in the promotion campaign for the film. In the year leading up to its release, Lucasfilm is developing feature projects from Game of Thrones creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, as well as a potential trilogy from Rian Johnson, the filmmaker behind The Last Jedi. However, is prepping to shoot his Knives Out with Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Now, in there, Episode 9 will be the last chapter installment, with Disney planning on saying, hey, this will be the last, there we go. I think we got our answer there. What do you think?
Yeah, I get it from a marketing angle. You can totally get butts and seats by saying the last one. Like, I think you mentioned that about the marketing. Yeah, see, I'm still kind of confused. Like, they're saying it's the last Skywalker film. I'm confused about how this is different from what we talked about, what we speculated before.
It wouldn't be. It's more of them saying, hey, of how there it said this will be the final installment of the Skywalker saga. This is pretty much saying that's the case.
Okay, so it's okay. It's interesting. I'm down for it because eventually you're gonna have to do something different and move on. However, the Skywalker series has definitely been the most successful. Every time they deviate from it, it's usually lesser than it's a lesser than film for sure. I.e. Solo. But it's a little sad, but it's definitely where it's gonna have to go for the future. And yeah.
So, what I've mentioned before. J.J. Abrams, and I had said, listen, I haven't heard him say this, but this makes me believe it more. Apparently, J.J. Abrams wants to, bring all the trilogies together for this. That would make sense if this is the final installment of the Skywalker saga. George Lucas always planned for 9 episodes, and it looks like that's what we're going with.
Interesting.
Now, that gets me excited. If this is the end, I would like it to wrap up some things. And with that, there's a lot to wrap up. I will say, I don't think it's the end of our episodic films. I think we're saying this is the end of the Skywalker saga. Maybe 10 years from now, somebody new steps in and it's like, hey, remember those Skywalker saga movies? What if we do episode 10? I feel like it's more of that than this is the end of the Skywalker saga. I think they'll tout it as that, episode 9, and then maybe 10 years, and that will be our equivalent of Revenge of the Sith to Force Awakens.
I like that. I like Star Wars, at least the trilogies, with those gaps. And like I said, doing it for the end is like it's like brilliant marketing, of course, because in the trailers, with the big dramatic text comes up with the big dramatic music saying it's the end of the Skywalker or era or whatever they're gonna do. It's smart that way. But 10 years later, episode 10, ooh.
Yeah. That's right. And then people will be like, wait, I thought these episodic films were over. Here we go.
Yes, but no one's gonna give a shit because episode 10. Oh, they're there.
Hey. Yes. Now I'll read you the second nugget to this. Is that, again, sources say that the near future of Star Wars lies in television, with Kennedy-led Lucasfilm planning on expanding the universe with new characters in that medium. The shows at this stage include a live-action series run by Jon Favreau, which is, which is currently casting. More on that. And the animated Star Wars, The Clone Wars, both of which air on Disney's Untitled streaming service, which is set to launch in the second half of 2019. Meanwhile, another animated series, Star Wars Resistance, premieres this month on the Disney Channel. And what's this? The studio plans to expand the universe with new characters introduced in movies and television shows. Now, there's a lot of nuggets there. First, I'll say, when I say more on that, not more on the casting, but the Jon Favreau show, we're going to definitely hear casting soon. Why I say that is they've got sets they're building. I'd just today, when we were getting ready to do this, I wanted to get this page up. I see the Kathleen Kennedy, stuff, and I see, hey, whoa, we got production photo. Well, set photos of Jon Favreau's show. They're definitely getting close to shooting. They've got sets they're building. This is audio only, so you can't see the photos, but we've seen them. And there's a thing that looks like a big hand. There's a
Yes.
it looks like this has got to be a desert island. Kind of looks like Mos Eisley, Tatooine. Then we see a photo of the man himself, Jon Favreau. It gets me excited knowing that this is coming. We're on the way. We're going to hear casting soon because obviously they're going to be shooting. I'm curious to see who's going to be directing these episodes. 10 episodes we got. Who's going to be cast? We know that it's going to be set 3 years after the Battle of Endor. So, rumblings have been that it will be heavy on Mandalorians, so I'm excited to see what we got cooking up here.
Yes, the pictures don't do too much for me, but at least it gets my mind back on this.
That
series.
hand doesn't do anything for you. You don't see that hand and think,
no,
wow,
I don't.
That hand just charges me up.
I wish that hand did that for me, but not quite. If it even is a hand foot mud thing. Anyways, it's like it don't do much for me, but. You mentioned they're going to be shooting soon. We're going to hear some casting soon. We're going to hear some directors soon. That's what gets me excited. It's going to be soon. I'm down for that. At the moment, it's like whatever, Whatever.
Wow, the first live-action Star Wars show we got. It's whatever.
Well, to these photos,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree.
Like
the photos
casting.
are nothing. They just get me, excited that, hey, we're going to have this soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well... remember when I mentioned Marvel, the MCU, and something that, some hardcore fans have, bitched about is that they would like some more connectivity to what's going on, because all of this is canon. So when I read this book, I want it to, make sense with what's going on in these movies.
Yeah.
Like with the Force Awakens book, it ended with Rey and Poe Dameron meeting, and then in The Last Jedi we see them meet again. I mean, to me, I'm like, go for what the best moment is for the movie, or let's say this live action TV series. So like, for me, you can bend some canon, you can massage it for me, but I know there's people that are like, I read this, I want this to mean something. Why I say this is that then studio, they plan to expand the universe with characters introduced in movies and television shows. Maybe we'll get some. Because now, we're most likely not going to have these Star Wars stories, like Rogue One, Solo. We've got the, Game of Thrones guys doing their stuff. Maybe what's going on now could interconnect more. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, and hey, I don't need it to be like the MCU, I've said that, but and you kind of got opportunity there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last episode we didn't talk about Star Wars, I wonder?
Oh, it's been a hot minute. I wasn't planning on doing it, and then I seen Kathleen Kennedy.
Because when we were going over what we were going to talk about, you're like, the trailers, whatever, and it's like, oh, Lucasfilm, well, there we go. Here we go, some more Star Wars. Not that I'm complaining. There's usually some juicy stuff to talk about, and it's like one of the bigger franchises, if not the biggest franchise. So,
Yeah. Anytime I can squeeze Star Wars in there, I'll do it.
Oh, I'll do it. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. I will. Find the way.
I just got into yesterday I was talking to a mutual friend of ours, Max. We were doing like a script meeting for our project for school, and then we were done with that, and we started talking about politics. And just, if you've watched the news, there's stuff going on right now. And we were talking about that, and then I don't know how I did it, but I managed to bring in Star Wars. Then we got onto a full talk of Star Wars, and I was like, well, look at that. See, anytime I can talk about Star Wars, I will do it. I will find a way to get into Star Wars. So, yeah. I find my way, and I get there.
Yes, you
do.
You
have anything, any final things of this, anything you want to mention?
Anything I want to mention that I have not mentioned? I don't think so.
All right, I'll ask you a question. Kylo Ren, does he live or die now knowing that they're going to at least promote this film as the last of the Skywalker saga? Or saga films.
Wow.
Films.
Okay.
Does he die?
Let's see. I'm going to say he doesn't die. I'm going to guess he does not die. And Yeah, I think that's it. He doesn't die.
I wouldn't want him to die. Like, maybe do a Revenge of the Sith type thing. Like, you can fuck him up pretty bad, but maybe not kill him. Just
Just fuck him right up.
Yeah, just fuck him up, but don't kill him. You can just Anakin Skywalker him. Or
Make
hey,
him
maybe
like a brain in a jar, but still living.
Yeah, just still living. I would like to see it, but when I heard that, I'm like, okay, I guess that kind of increases the chances of a death from Kylo Ren. I'm a big Kylo Ren fan.
Me
I
too.
think he would be my
Oh my
favorite
God.
character of these new films.
Yes, I agree. Adam Driver's just
He's
wow.
he's amazing.
He wears his pants a little too high, but besides that,
You know what?
Wow.
I think it's a good look, especially on him.
well, it works. He's got big shoulders, big traps, big pecs. Really punctuates those. But like, those are some high pants.
Those are some high pants. But I love that he commits. Like I mentioned on our Black Klansman review, that what I love about Adam Driver as an actor, he just gets right into whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
Even I remember,
Even if it means wearing your pants up to your nipples.
yeah, even if it means wearing your pants up that high. I remember hearing Mark Hamill when they were shooting. He was like, "Hey, I asked Adam Driver, you want to go for like a coffee?" And he just didn't talk to him. Didn't want any part of it because he wanted to stay in character. Wanted nothing to do with Mark Hamill.
Really interesting.
Yeah. You know what?
Interesting.
We've talked Star Wars, and if I think of something else I want to say, I'm sure I'll say it. You too, because I want to talk about something else. I've been wanting to work this in there sometimes, and it just wasn't the right moment. I feel now it is because we got some stuff to talk about. I don't even know if
Okay.
you'll care about this, but it's
Okay.
Birds of Prey. It's Margot Robbie's spin-off film, Harley Quinn. And it will be in the, DC universe, DCEU, Worlds of DC, whatever they're calling it. It's in there. And they've got a date. It's February 7, 2020. That seems far away, but then you think about it, you're like, oh, yeah, it's not that far away. And they've casted some actresses, one of which, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, has been cast as Huntress.
Ooh, good casting.
Now, that name alone gets me excited. I'm intrigued.
Yes,
We got
agreed.
Margot Robbie. We got Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I'm a big fan of her. Last thing I think I seen her in was Fargo season 3. She's brilliant
shit.
in.
I gotta see that.
She's fantastic. And Huntress, a character I don't know. I know more than like the past few weeks. I've been saying what I don't know of like the internals and what I don't know about Captain Marvel. I think I know Huntress a little bit more than what I know the rest. But at the same time, I don't think there's that much to know, and there's a lot of iterations. But I mean, what I know is, she comes from like a mob family. Depending on family killed. Now she's going out for revenge. She's got a bow. She's gonna shoot some people with arrows, and she's like, I guess she's pretty much the Green Arrow of a mob family.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's to simplify it.
You know more than I know. All I know is I like Mary.
Yeah, I like Mary too, and gets me excited. There's another casting. I don't even know if I want to attempt the name. It's Journey Smollett
Wow, that was
Bell.
offensive.
And the second part, I just decided to screw it up because I wasn't gonna. Like, it's Smollett. Is it? I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't think I know her, but she's been cast as Black Canary.
I'm going to look her up on IMDb right now.
Yeah, you look her up.
How do you spell the name?
Tell me. Jurn
Jurn.
with a smack a double E. to the
Journey
end of that.
Smollett Bell.
Yeah, there we go. There
Journey
she is.
Smollett Bell, I assume. Or Smollett.
Smollett.
It could be
Smollett. Because you
But-
could go with Slimay, but then you can also go with Smollett.
I think maybe because there's two T's that it's Smollett. I feel like
Smollett.
Smollett would be one
Yeah.
T. I don't
Okay.
know. Do I know
Alright,
her? Do
well.
I even know her? I don't think I
Yeah,
know her.
look through what she's been in. Tell us if we know her.
This is what she's known for: Underground, Friday Night Lights, The Great Debaters, and Hands of Stone. Those are the top ones on her IMDb page.
Okay.
But if I just scroll through, like, what do I know in this filmography? True Blood, I know of. Grey's Anatomy, she's in 2 episodes. ER, she's in 1 episode.
So what I'm taking is she's a newer actress.
She's on The
upcoming. She hasn't been
Cosby
in a while.
Show.
The Cosby Show?
Well, is The Cosby Show called Cosby?
I think it was called The Cosby Show.
Okay, well, there's a
Maybe it's
show
just
called Cosby that ran from 1996 to 2000, and
How
Bill
old is
Cosby is in it. How old is she? Let me see.
She doesn't look.
She was born in 1986. Born in 1986.
1986. Okay.
So that makes her 2018
Okay.
minus 1986 is 32 years old.
32 years old.
She turns 33 in 2 days. Her birthday's October
in 2
1st.
days. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So-
She turns 32 in 2 days.
32. Okay. In 2 days, she's 32.
Good for her.
All right.
I wish her a happy birthday.
So yeah. There we go. Happy birthday to Smollett.
there you
Bell.
go.
So she'll be Dinah Lance, Black Canary. I would say I know more about Black Canary than Huntress. She's screaming out sonic waves, and she's
Whoa.
gonna fuck you up with them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Smollett. Come on.
Smollett.
Don't yell at me.
So
Come on.
she's gonna be doing a lot of screaming in Birds of Prey, which this is the first time Huntress and Black Canary, I believe, will be seen on the big screen. We've seen them in television series, most notably Arrow, which it's a show I'm a fan of. Hopefully, season 7? Hopefully, we're getting there.
Damn, they have that
New
many
showrunner.
seasons?
It looks better. Yeah.
Wow.
Not that many seasons. Season 1, I think, is really good. Season 2, I think, is great. Season 3, we take a dip. Season 4, take a bigger dip. You get me back with 5, and you got moments in 6. We got a new showrunner in season 7. Looks pretty good from what I've seen. Hopefully, that's the case. Now, Birds of Prey. We've got this casting. To me, Mary Elizabeth Winstead gets me going. I don't know the second actress. However, let's see what you got.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll check it out. February 7th, 2020. Now, does any of that do anything for you?
No, not really. Except for
No.
what I mentioned about my girl Mary. That's cool. But I'm not too familiar with these characters. Don't really care about this
Okay.
movie too much.
Now, I'm not a fan of Suicide Squad. I think that's definitely my least favorite of this universe. got going.
Yeah, for sure.
Harley Quinn was my favorite thing of the movie.
Okay, interesting.
I wanted to see more from Harley Quinn, so this gets me going because I
Yeah,
don't want to
that's
just
true.
see a Harley Quinn movie and because this could go on to something bigger, but I don't want it to go on to something bigger. But it's hard to get excited for something in this world when you don't know what's going on, especially with Henry Cavill. Is he Superman? Is he not?
Yeah.
First we get a report saying negotiations, they broke down and he's no longer going to be Superman. His manager comes out and says, hey, wait a minute, he's still got, the cape in his closet. And Warner Brothers says, oh, yeah, we like working with him. We still got a good relationship. And they don't say, that doesn't say he is or isn't. And then he comes out with a video of, Superman doll, raises it up, raises it down.
Yeah, that was weird.
Just give us an answer.
Give
Give us an answer. That's all I want.
Very weird.
Yeah, you don't got to smack me around with is he or isn't he. I just want to know.
Yeah.
I want to be excited for something. And then there's a report.
Be excited for
they
Bumblebee.
don't really have plans for a Superman movie. They got a Supergirl movie coming, which I'm okay with. But can we just nail our core, characters before we go on and try something new? Like before we had Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man and the Wasp, like they Marvel, and I'm not going for the comparison. I'm just saying they nailed down their core characters before they tried something, different and new. I mean, Supergirl, they got a TV show going, so I don't necessarily need a movie right now, but I'll take it if it's good. I just want to know what's going on. And you know how I have this, this hate for fan accounts?
Yes.
It's kind of turned into something that I get amusement from now I look at them to laugh. And I'll tell you why. There's something I love this. I thought it was hilarious. So Matt Reeves, he's been writing his Batman script, and he finally, got his draft 1 in there, even though apparently he was supposed to have it in of November, December of last year. He finally got it in now. And so people are going, oh, Warner Brothers loves the script. There's been no factual evidence of that, just that he's handed in a script. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I remember hearing that executives give a standing ovation to Batman vs. Superman, and hey, well...
I was one of them.
Yeah, there you go. So, and we talked about Ben Affleck. He was in rehab, and to me, Ben Affleck has not been Batman for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
So fan account. Breaking news: Ben Affleck was spotted leaving Warner Brothers with a script in his hand, which Matt Reeves recently turned in. This, I love it. If you've seen this, I think you'd have a good laugh.
Yeah.
It's. I love the enthusiasm to want this fucking man to be Batman.
Is there a picture or anything with it?
There's a picture of Ben Affleck leaving a meeting with the script in his hand.
From like 4 years ago?
I think it's recent. He's got a few things going. He took a break from rehab.
Oh, okay.
And he's got he's working on movies, but movies of his own. And that's most likely what it was. But the thing is, we don't have any answers. The hard thing of being a DC fan, Warner Brothers fan. I want to be excited, but what do I have to? I don't know what I'm supposed to be excited for. I know it's coming with Marvel. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. Sure,
you say there's a Birds of Prey movie, and when it's there, I'll believe it.
Yeah, and I think that's just what it's about. Just like manage your expectations. Just like don't get too excited. Just be like, just wait for it to happen. When it happens, it happens. Otherwise, I wouldn't get too.
Yeah, and I don't understand the whole dance around. If Henry Cavill's not your Superman, which I know we didn't talk about, and I don't want to talk about it too much, but like one of the things in there that apparently the studio believes that Superman's like James Bond. You got to switch out the actor every now and then. See what? What? Yeah. Like the thing is what I really drives me crazy is that they don't know how to handle Superman. And it became very clear that they didn't know what they were doing from the development of Man of Steel 2 that turned into Batman vs. Superman that went into a Justice League. And you don't know what you're doing with Superman. You don't know what you're doing. And it even now you're showing me this if apparently you think Superman should be treated like James Bond. It shouldn't be, especially if you're saying this is a universe. That it makes it hard.
Yeah, it's an interesting
I just want to know
idea,
what's going on.
It's not something you can build a universe off of, which is clearly what they want to do. It's what they've been doing. So to have this mentality is very counterintuitive. It's very bizarre.
Like make up your mind. If you want to have Superman like a James Bond, go ahead and make your standalone Supermans. But for your universe, I don't think you know what you're doing.
No,
don't know what you're doing.
Make your Supermans.
Which makes it weird because just get them out there, make them. Which makes it weird because like Walter Hamada comes in, from what's said of like he just wants to have good scripts before it's announced and like okay, but then at the same time and again he came in at a time where things were already moving, so it's kind of hard to judge. But it's like as soon as you get some optimism, something comes out that's like you're excited. Well, now you shouldn't be. So that's why it's kind of like I'm excited for the concept of Birds of Prey. I just don't know if it's actually going to happen.
Yeah,
and then I remember I sent you a photo of it was a Collider article of the writers of a Joker Harley movie with Jared Leto and Margot. I would have thought they'd can that immediately. Who for a universe that's already on shaky waters, you're gonna still plan a Jared Leto Joker movie?
Yeah, that's fucked.
Harley Quinn when we already have Birds of Prey and we already have a Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie going.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Like I think I had said to you then. It's like what's going on in the meetings when they do this stuff? It's like all right, you get somebody come in, and it's like okay, here's an idea for a Man of Steel 2 or Superman 2, and maybe it's good. And they're like, you know what? That may be good, but let's do a Joker and Harley movie because that's what the people want. It's get a grip on what your fans want. And I know there's a lot of hardcore fans out there that defend it and think it's an attack, but like I love this stuff and I want to love it. I want to be excited. Just I can't bitch too much.
Hey, you can bitch all you want.
Too much. I've done it enough. We got a Joker movie
when
coming.
You sent me that, I was like, what?
Excited.
Like it's something you can totally bitch about.
Well, yeah, and what they said it was going to be like, it's going to be like This Is Us and
that's
movie,
right.
Which was totally like it was Crazy Stupid Love and This Is Us.
It's so funny.
What the fuck is that supposed to be? And Harley and Joker are not material for This Is Us. I love the show, but what the fuck are you talking about?
This Is Us?
Oh, I think it's a great show. I love it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I love it.
Everyone loves it.
First 2 seasons are on Netflix. Season 3 just started last Tuesday. I think it's a fantastic show.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But dude, this crazy. What was that? Crazy Stupid Love and This Is Us. Harley and Joker movie. Can't wait. Can't wait to see that one.
It's weird. Like these are characters that are clearly a very abusive relationship. That's like, I don't know if having it in the vein of Crazy Stupid Love is the way to go. Because I don't know. Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, Warner Brothers?
What is a movie?
Yeah, what's a movie?
Exactly.
What's a Batman? And I file this one under potential fake news. I haven't seen anybody credible run with it yet, I believe. But apparently, like, one of the things, Birds of Prey will be in Gotham, and apparently Batman's been missing for a few years now. Hey, if that's the case, I'm okay with it.
That's interesting. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
But hey, what's a movie?
Yeah, what's a movie? I'm going to give it a quick shout out. I watched a series on Netflix, Maniac, by Cary Fukunaga.
I've seen that.
And yeah, he directed all the episodes, his show, and we mentioned James Bond. He will be directing the next James Bond. He did True Detective Season 1.
Oh. Is that all he's done, or is he from somewhere else?
Let's see. Let's pull this up.
Because I recognize that name, but
it is a name that is
Beast of No Nation. I think that's
Beast of No Nation. Okay, so there you go. Yes. That also. Okay. I want to shout out the show. I think it's a good show. First episode was shaky for me, but I grew to like it quite a bit. I think it's a solid show.
It looks good. I've been interested in seeing it.
Yeah. I think the performances are mostly where it's at. Emma Stone is fantastic as always.
Emma Stone's amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
So is
Jonah Hill's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good in there. Justin Theroux, I believe. Yeah, Justin Theroux. He's pretty good in there. And Sally Field, she's pretty good also.
Sally Field.
Amazing Spider-Man, she was Aunt May.
Okay. Yes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's Sally Field. I mentioned that just to shout out the show, and also he's directing Bond 25. I know I didn't mention that a few weeks ago. Danny Boyle, he's out.
Sad.
Yeah, I think that's sad. What's sad is that you can't get inspired choices to do this stuff to make something unique because you got to stay within a brand. You can't be too risque.
Yeah.
So.
Just make the movies for less money. Make them a little risque.
Yeah.
Give it to Lars von Trier. Let him direct James Bond.
Not every movie has to have a 200 million budget tag on that. That's what got me jacked. Well, kind of excited for the Joker movie was that they're going with a small budget, character piece, do something different.
That.
Yeah. There we go.
So it goes. Just if you're gonna do that, don't make it special effect galore. Don't try and do that when you don't have the money for that. That's the worst.
Yes.
Some movies.
I gotta ask you a question. I'll ask you two questions.
Do it.
One, I'm gonna ask you, on this day 5 years ago, something ended, had a finale.
Oh.
And you've seen a movie, and I want you to tell me about it. First, 5 years ago today, what had a finale?
5 years ago today, was it Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad. 5 years ago today.
Wow, that was 5 years ago. I remember that. I didn't even watch it. I didn't watch it live. I remember my sister watched it though, and she was all excited. And then I hadn't watched it. I didn't watch it till after it was done.
Yeah.
I think I might have watched the first season while it was on. Then I stopped watching. Okay. And I went back to it years later or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, yeah. I think I've mentioned before. I watched it in the summer. I was very late to the party. I love the show. My second favorite show. I wish I watched it live. That's what I can say.
Me too.
Because I would watch the 5 seasons plus 3 of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And then I had finished it in time, and that was all in the span of 5 days. And then I got in time to watch season 4 of Better Call Saul, which is still on the air. And then I remember saying to you after the first week, I was like, man, this fucking sucks having to wait week to week. Which, to clarify, doesn't suck. I mean, I said it fucking sucks, this, having to wait. And to clarify, I mean, I can say, oh, the show fucking sucks. The show's great, but it fucking sucks having to wait a week to see the next episode. But at the same time, it is nice. Because I could only imagine, to season 5, when, I guess I'll say spoilers, because it was the one show that I had watched that didn't know any spoilers. I knew stuff for Game of Thrones, knew stuff for Sopranos, most shows that I had to catch up on. I knew things that happened, didn't know anything for Breaking Bad, so I guess I'll keep that if somebody listens, they haven't seen it. There's a lot of stuff that happens, especially in season 5, that I couldn't imagine having to wait a week to get an answer to that.
Yeah.
What a great show.
What a
And
great show.
like I said, if Game of Thrones season, what's it, 8, ends bad or just okay, there's a chance Breaking Bad might be my favorite show of all time. But as of now, I'm going to place it at number 2.
It's weird. We have the same like favorite shows of all time. Game of Thrones is my favorite, and Breaking Bad's like right up there, number 2. And
Look at that.
yeah,
Yeah.
them's is some good shows, boy.
Yeah. Game of Thrones. Yeah, I'll
Game
bring it
of
back to Star
Thrones.
Wars. Game of Thrones guys doing Star Wars movies.
A
Would you rather them do the movies or a series?
no preference.
No
I'm
preference?
curious to see what they can do for a movie, but like
Yeah.
series, anything, I'm down. They've proven themselves that they can do series.
Yeah.
But they also have material to work off of. Now they don't. That
Yeah,
I believe.
which,
I
man,
believe
I was
they
to see
do not.
if I mean it depends. If they go on like Knights of the Old
Yeah.
Republic, then they can pull from stuff. But I mean they have a whole old extended universe they could pull from. But that's if they go back in time. Sure, they can do stuff. But yeah, I'm curious to see.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to see. Well, anyways, you've seen a movie.
I've seen
Tell
a
me about
movie.
it.
I seen A Simple Favor last night.
And that's the Paul Feig directed movie with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively.
Correct. And A Crazy Rich
And also
Asian.
the guy from Henry Golding, Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah.
Have you heard much about this movie at all? Do you?
I haven't heard much. I've heard good things of the little I've heard.
Yeah. For good reason. It's a pretty good movie. It's kind of, a lot of it feels like kind of just like less like a lesser Gone Girl. If you've seen Gone Girl, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I've heard that. I've heard the comparison.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Well, I'm not surprised. It's got definitely even like some moments that just feel like they're straight out of Gone Girl. I believe they're both based off books, Gone Girl and A Simple Favor. I think I'm not 100%. But yeah, it's looking past that, it's a good movie. It's totally unique. I couldn't believe it's like tonally all over the place. Like one scene, it's like kind of like almost slapstick humor, and then the next scene, it's like murder, and it's like played fully serious, and it's kind of unsettling. So if you're down for that, then cool. I was totally down for that. It works really well. I think that's probably the best part of the movie. Blake Lively is also, her character is fucking wild, and she's really good in it. Anna Kendrick's great, of course. I really dig Anna Kendrick. Yeah, the Crazy Rich Asian. I don't know his name yet. I've only seen Crazy Rich
Henry
Asian.
Golding.
Henry, my boy Henry. He's really good in it too. There's a couple kids that were actually funny and good, and child actors can be kind of annoying, and you just don't know what you're gonna get with them. I dug the ones in this. It's not predictable. Like you're gonna have a fun time guessing what's going on, and it's still shocking and surprising. And I think I would recommend it for sure. It's like this unique mystery, thriller, comedy thingy. It's the best way I'd describe it. And yeah, it's cool. It's good. It's good. It's good shit. Good shit.
Good shit?
Good shit.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not over the moon about it. I was like, this is solid. It ends.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't a spoiler, but I'm just gonna say something about the ending. It does the thing, where like movies have like the text that comes out that describes where characters are now.
Yeah.
It does that, and I don't think it's based on a true story. I assume it's not, because it's fucking ridiculous. And I hate when movies that aren't based on a true story do that.
Yeah.
Like Unbreakable did it, and I think Unbreakable is like absolutely incredible. And then that happens, and it's like, what the fuck? This is garbage.
Yeah.
This movie does that. It's not really a spoiler, but it's like, come on, it feels so cheap.
Yeah,
And
I find it ridiculous when
Yeah,
I see
it's
it.
ridiculous.
It's not based on a true story.
It sucks because the scenes before this were like so amazing. Like this movie has such a strong ending, and I was like, oh shit, this just like put this movie in a whole other level. But then right before the credits roll, right before I leave the theater, it brings me right back down, and it puts bad taste in my mouth when I walk out of the theater. So take that as it is.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you an option here. We can mention some upcoming things that we may do a review on right now, or we could talk about a movie we've seen. Not a lot of other people have seen it, called The Predator. And we said we can talk, we were going to talk spoilers. It's, it depends where you're at.
I don't care. I'm fine. Just one thing about the Predator is when I saw Simple Favor last night, I saw the Predator was playing, and I was like, "Damn, I want to see that again."
Wow. Did you actually?
I did.
If
I know I'm in the minority on this one. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't like ratings, but I'm just curious to gauge where like a rating or like a grade. You can give it a letter grade or a rating. Where
Okay,
that would
like
be.
a rate. Like I gave it a 7 on IMDb.
Okay.
Because I dig it, and
Yeah. Okay.
it is still it's ludicrous. It's a completely ludicrous movie.
Yeah.
But I still had a good time and I dug it. What about you?
What I'll say to that is, like, I'd seen it with somebody who hadn't seen any of the other Predators, and they liked it. I think even if you weren't a fan of the other Predator movies or you just haven't seen them, you'll probably have a fun time with it. But like,
Yeah.
I said this movie broke my heart a bit. Like, it felt like someone was, just fucking. It's less the movie; it's more Shane Black that broke my heart.
Wow.
Yeah. The more I think about it.
You're never going to be invited to his birthday parties again.
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
You just
Wow,
burned all the
Shane.
bridges with Shane.
I know, I just did. No, because I love Shane. That's what broke my heart.
Yeah.
I think he's got a great film in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I think he's got a good film in Iron Man 3. I think he's got a great film in The Nice Guys, and I think he's got a pretty bad film in The Predator.
What would you give it for like a number?
I don't. You know what? Every time I see a movie, after I see it right away, I give it a grade, which always changes from the time I see it. But I just want to like put it in a list of what I've seen, and I'll gauge where I felt about it. So let me pull up this list.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I didn't give it a number, but I'll tell you what.
Okay.
It's towards the bottom of my list, and at the bottom I have The Equalizer 2 with a 5, and above that is A Wrinkle
You gave
in
The
Time.
Equalizer 2 a 5. I thought you hated it more than that.
I mean, it probably went down because that was right after I seen it.
Okay.
I hate that movie. I hate it.
Okay.
Yeah, worst time in the theater I had this year.
Wow.
I had a terrible headache.
So 5 to me
It
is
gave
like
me a headache.
not bad, middle of the road kind of thing.
Yeah. So above that, Wrinkle in Time, White Boy Rick, and what made me enjoy The Predator a bit more was because I seen White Boy Rick before.
Did we talk about White Boy Rick at all?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
I don't even think. Don't see it. Don't
Okay,
see it.
I won't
see
see
why?
it.
If you want to see it, watch the trailer. I'll tell you why. The trailer, like it gives off this. It's based on a true story. It looks like, wow, we're gonna see how this kid, 14-year-old kid, roast be one of kingpins. Selling some drugs in Detroit.
Selling some
drugs. And it seemed like such an awesome story of how this kid rose to be, a kingpin. And the trailer is like, it's electrifying. The movie's not. It falls flat. And it's just, it's a fine movie, but there's no flair to it. There's no electricity to it. And you don't even see what you want to see. I mean,
okay.
I guess this is a spoiler, but you don't see the rise of how he became this kingpin. You see it for a brief second, and then they take it away from you right away.
Interesting.
It was a big disappointment.
Okay.
And like when I talk about The Predator, as much as I hate it, it's a funny film. It is a funny film. You can have fun with it.
Yeah.
Just what breaks my heart is I'm a big fan of Predator with Arnold and Carl Weathers, a lot of other people, Shane Black also. And it's like the Macho Man's, version of a horror movie, of a thriller.
Yeah. Interesting.
And yeah, and with the Predator in the movie, I guess I'll spoil it for, I know you haven't seen it, but is that all right?
I don't care. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it came out in the 80s. It leans into horror thriller aspects, and it's this group of kind of mercenaries. They come in. They're told that, hey, there's this fucking military group. They went missing. We got to go find them. Something's going on, and they do their mission. But like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, you know who these characters are. You don't have to set up anything. You just know. Because they do it all perfectly within the first 5. And then you go on their mission, and then 15 minutes later you find out that ain't the mission. There's something else going on here, why we were brought here. And now the count's on. People start dying immediately, and there's no time to, you get to know these characters, and then the Predator takes them away from you, that you start to love. And the movie's like the same runtime as Predator and the Predator that came out this year, but the Predator, the original, is so fast, because you don't waste any time. You get to know these characters, you love them, and then they're taken away from you. And then it's all right. How the hell are we gonna kill this thing? And I mean, the movie is a product of its time. It is cheesy, and you got some amazing one-liners by Arnold. And one of my favorite lines of the movie is before the Predator comes in. Now, one of these guys, they get hit, and they're like, somebody says, "Hey, you're bleeding," and then my man, fucking governor of Minnesota, what's his name again? What's Jesse Ventura? And he says, "I ain't got time to bleed." Such a great line. Such a great line. I ain't got time to bleed. And then you get a great one, great line from Arnold. Throws a knife at a guy and says, "Stick around." Fantastic. And then you also get a good line of when they they're getting to know the Predator, and he says, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." So, like I said, it's the Macho Man's version of a horror thriller.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Predator, it's it's an imposing threat. It's a threat. It's gonna fuck you up, and you know it. The Predator, the Predator this year, the Predators in there, they don't do anything. They don't do anything, and I'll just say we're gonna go full spoilers for a second.
Yeah, I think we can.
What really disappoints me is that you spend so much time developing this team for them to what would naturally be a heroic sacrifice not be a heroic sacrifice. The big Predator, who's supposed to be, he's bigger, so he's better. He doesn't take out the main crew at all. He takes out Sterling K. Brown, and you don't even know he's dead. He takes out fucking homeboy from Game of Thrones. That's it. That's all he does. The team doesn't go from the Predator. And you take away the moment when the Predator is like, "All right, I'm going to give you guys a 5-minute head start. Let's go play tag." I'm like, okay, that's ridiculous, but I mean, I'm kind of on board now because he's going to start taking people out, and he doesn't. He takes out people that you don't care about. You don't care about. Then there's a moment when, what's Kegel, Mike, and Key, whatever his name is, that guy, he's funny, funniest thing in the movie. Him and his, pal, they're having this moment. It's supposed to be, it's not heartfelt. And then the guy from Moonlight, why are we doing this? It's so ridiculous. Let's have the Predator take him out. And when the Predator's taken out, it's seriously, that's how we do it. This guy's supposed to be bigger and badder. Wow, that's how we do it.
These are fair complaints, I guess.
It really upset me.
Things that didn't bother me because I feel like this is a lot of attachment to the first one and kind of remembering how that felt and wanting to relive that feeling.
In a sense, but it's like it takes away the essence of the Predator itself.
Yeah, I get that.
The movie is fine, but if you gave me more of the Predator being a predator in the film, you're getting me more because you're getting the essence of what the Predator is. But then you have this ridiculous storyline of there's a Predator on the run to come to Earth to save us all, yet he's going to kill us at the same time.
Yeah.
I would have much preferred if just, there's a Predator fight going on and hey, there's a crash landing on Earth and now
the whole plot was super convoluted about him wanting to save. I said, it's fucking ludicrous, this movie. Lot of it's so dumb. It gets dumber as it goes. When
I started to be more forgiving, the ending happened. And the ending to this movie is I hate this. I hate this worse than I would rather watch Equalizer 2 than see that ending again. It is so bad, and it takes away everything, the essence of what a Predator film should be. You get this nanotech.
Yes.
And he looks like Shredder from Ninja Turtles. You already took out this big Predator with ease. And he didn't kill anybody. He killed, pretty much cannon fodder. People we don't know. And even when you take out Sterling K. Brown, you don't even know he's dead. There's no emphasis. It's just like a background death. Can we see the death? Oh my God, that really got me going.
That's
the only reason why I knew he died was because I heard beforehand, I forget from who, was like, there's a point in the movie where somebody dies and you're like, did he die? So when I see in the moment, I'm like, it doesn't look like he's dead, but he must be.
I don't even remember that.
After. Exactly, my point. But man, this armor is so what, now we're supposed to get an invasion of a bunch of Predators and this tech is just going to...
That's his suit.
Yeah, that's my suit. What the fuck?
I wanted it to be his kid's suit. I want the kid to wear that. Because, I love how this movie acts like if you have Asperger's or autism. I believe it's autism, but someone makes a joke calling them Asperger or something like that.
Yeah.
If you have autism, that you're like the next step in evolution, and that you can understand alien tech, and that aliens were gonna suck your dick. It's like, obviously, suck your dick is a little bit of hyperbole. It's much more of a metaphor. About aliens like obsessing over him.
The one thing I liked about the film, but then you take it away from all the bad stuff, is that, in which, I mean, in a sense, it's not like we're breaking ground here, but it's like, yeah, the predators, they fucking, they kill like, the highest specimen, and they take from that and they grow from that. And then it's, this kid, he has autism and he's the next step in evolution, so they're going for this kid so they can, grow in evolution also and take over the earth. Man, it's too much. It's too much. We don't need a big, huge story that's trying to, we don't need that. You don't need that in a Predator film. It just, man. I have an attachment to the first one, but man, it really just, eesh. Whoa. Wow.
All right. Wow. We're going over an hour,
yeah,
right?
We're going overtime.
So much for a 40-minute to an hour.
I say, let's shoot for 40, 45 hour max. Wow.
Is that all? Wanna?
Yeah, man. I really wish I could have said I love this film, but I don't. I hate it. And it's not doing well. It's made a little over 100 million worldwide. It had the lowest opening for a film that had like 4,000 plus screens. It had an $88 million budget. They had to go back for reshoots. And like, what I'm curious about is, I remember seeing set photos of that third act, and they had a tank, and there was the guy from Moonlight in the tank, but also the supposed friendly predator on the tank with him.
What?
Yeah. What happened to that? What happened to that?
What happened to that?
I'm kind of intrigued for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went back and I read
wild.
quotes. I was reading quotes from Shane Black of this movie way back, like when it was announced, whether it was 2016. I think it was 2016. And he was saying, yeah, this, Fox came to me, and was, and when I read this quote, this kind of put things in perspective. To paraphrase, he had said that, hey, Fox came to me and said, we're thinking of doing like a Predator film, and, we want to have a franchise here, but we kind of want to reinvent the Predator. And he was like, all right, we can reinvent it, but let me do my thing, which ultimately I don't think they let him do his thing from what's being said. But even then, this script, man, I look at Shane Black as a great writer, and this was written not great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold it against you.
Quick question.
This movie. It's totally understandable. What's up?
Shane Black films, they don't make money. Aside from Iron Man 3, it made over $1 billion. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang didn't make much. I know The Nice Guys didn't make much, and this one's not making much. It's just what is it about Shane Black that people don't want to go see his movies?
I don't think.
I think The Nice Guys is great.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I don't think The Predator made money because it's kind of a dead franchise, more or less. It's not dead. Maybe it's just like, it's not thriving. I don't think it's his fault necessarily. I don't think it's his name that's making people not come out. I just think.
Oh yeah, definitely not that.
Yeah,
but I'm curious of, like, The Nice Guys. I think is a movie that should have made money, but it didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Marketing is so huge, and like, it's hard to sell that like medium budget movie now. Just in the era of like comic book movies and Star Wars movies, that's just a harder sell now. And I don't think it's just Shane Black. I think other directors and filmmakers will struggle with this problem and have struggled with this problem. I don't know. I don't think it's anything he should be too worried about. Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the Predator for you.
That's the Predator. There he is. All big and with his doggos and
Oh my god, those dogs.
Oh my god. Remember the scene where they shot a grenade into its throat or whatever, and it blew up, and it looked like it was from like Power Rangers from like 99.
Wow, yeah, this movie.
Yeah. Anyways,
but hey, it was a sequel to the first one and Predator 2. Gary Busey's kid was in the movie, and he played the offspring to Gary Busey's character in 2.
Ah.
Yeah. So,
there you go.
Yeah. There you go. It's the trilogy: Predator, Predator 2, and The Predator.
Yeah, weird titles for a trilogy.
Yeah, it's quite weird. But you know what? I've said it all. We've learned a lot today.
We've learned too much.
Yeah, too much. Too much. A little bit too much.
A little bit
But
too
I'll leave
much.
it with next week is Venom and A Star Is Born.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I'm excited
like a
for
turd
A Star
in
Is
the
Born.
wind, baby.
Yeah, like
That's
a
how
turd in the
quickly I'm
wind.
gonna get to Venom.
Yeah, there you go. I'm excited to see Andrew Dice Clay and A Star Is Born and Dave Chappelle and obviously Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper. Venom, we'll see what happens, and we'll probably have a review for that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay.
I'm curious to see Venom, and if Venom is as ridiculous as I think it's gonna be, I'm excited to review it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there it is. And we'll be back next week with some stuff, more stuff. And there it is. Wow.
There it is. Wow.
Wow.
Alrighty.
All right. I'm going to push the
let's,
button so I don't suddenly say something else. So until next time, see ya.
All right. This is Jake. This is Ben. This has been the Jake and Ben Show. We learned a lot today. We never did our learn segment. We talked about it, but you know what? We're not going to give it to you. We didn't do it last week. We didn't do it this week. Maybe another week. Gotta tune in. Gotta stay tuned to know what you learn. Who's gonna tell you? You gotta know what you learn. If you don't know what you learn. Okay, bye.